All right, we are live right now. Got some tea I need to make. This is the tea for the tea club. So a lot of you doesn't know, but we actually have a tea club. It's a subscription base where I pick some of the best tea every month. So trying to make the tea for this month's tea club. There are 4 tea. Very excited. So the first tea is a premium Iron Goddess or Tea Kuan Yin Oolong. So just trying to. All right, so this is what it looks like. A lot of Tea Kuan Yin or a lot of tea in China, they actually comes in a pouch like this. This is usually between 5 grams to about 9 grams. For Tea Kuan Yin are usually about 8 grams. Usually people take one of these to work and then they just drink the same tea over and over again all day long, right? They just take one of these. So nobody carry tea bags. This is what they carry. And then usually at work, they have some sort of like already teapots, already setups, or a lot of people, they just drink it from glass teacups. All right, so I'm gonna show you. I've been trying to find a good Tea Kuan Yin, and often they're either really bad or they're very expensive. So this one is pretty good. For right now, I think it's only available for tea clubs, but eventually it's going to be available for everybody. And this is like roughly kind of like in the middle price range, but quality is very good. So you use the whole thing. I'm gonna measure how many grams is this one. Use the whole thing. Recommended to use Gai 1 or like a small teapot. Okay, so it reminds you a little bit of like Taiwanese tea, but they're not raw like a ball. They're more like raw, like a shape of like a twisted. They're kind of like a little bit mixed. They're not as pretty as a lot of like Taiwanese oolong. So let's see how many grams is this. Each member of the tea club get 2 pouches of this. Give you a good idea of like at least give you an idea of like how do you like about this tea. Usually, if you feel like you cannot use the whole thing, you can use half of them, which is like about 5 grams. So yeah, this is about 8 grams. So definitely if you feel like that's too much, you want to split it into half of them, that's totally fine. My instruction, I think we said that we use the whole 8 grams. Right? So a lot of like Iron Goddess oolong right now, it can taste very, very floral, and a lot of the really cheap one, it's almost too much, you know, so I don't like that. So I've been trying to find the one that is just the perfect balance of like what is floral notes of an Iron Goddess or Tea Kuan Yin sometimes. So it's popular for its really strong orchid smell. Very good orchid smell. This is like kind of like Happy New Year, Jessica. This is not on the website yet. So that's about 8 grams. You can see it's So just subtle orchid, not too fragrance, just like jasmine tea. Sometimes when they make it too strong, like the fragrance, it just feels very artificial. So I don't like that. Gonna use the whole thing, 8 grams. You can brew this like easily 10 times. So if you feel like that's too much, definitely you can reduce it, but you can use boiling water I have tested this quality. It survived boiling water, and normally a lot of iron goddess, it does not survive boiling water. So that's how I know this is a really good quality one, especially for the price. This is like around 14, 15 an ounce. But I don't like this little pouch because we don't have that habit of just carrying all of this to work. So I've been trying to switch to just the loose leaf. So I requested our farmer, see if I can just get the loose leaf version. But I think they ran out of this quality, so I think they have to give me like a higher quality than this one. So we'll see. Right, so same thing, you rinse it real quick. Very quickly. If you have a small teapot like this, it's probably the best way to make this tea. Now, we just rinse this real quick. Color is beautiful, as you can see. It's very, very clear, very bright, very thick. A lot of contrast. So it goes in and goes out. All right, this is all boiling water. This is really, really good for like summertime, springtime, summertime. Usually I try to include like one green, one black, and one oolong, or something like a combination of like one of each category. Like one kind of lighter, one is heavier, and one something in the middle. So will be the lighter one from this month's tea club. Some of you haven't picked up your tea, so you can rewatch this video later. So immediately you can see the color is already looking good. It's very bright, very shiny. Iron goddess, or it's different with the Taiwanese iron goddess, okay? This is the original from Ansi. Ansi is in China. I haven't had a chance to visit them, so if I had opportunity, I might visit them on my next trip to China. But the fragrance is just right. It's not too much, it's not too little. This is what I expect from like a good iron goddess. I had some like really pricey one. It's not even worth the money, and I think it's worse than this one. So sometimes with iron goddess in China, it can go really, really expensive, and I personally wouldn't pick those. They're like in like $80, $100 an ounce price range. I never really feel they're worth the money. So this is like about $14, $15. Like I will pay $100 an ounce if I feel like it's worth it. Like for a really good pu'er, I think that's fine, or like a really good white tea, even really good dark oolong, like Wui oolong. But for Tea Kuan Yin, I just haven't found a reason to accept those kind of expensive tea yet. Very smooth, very subtle, very easy to drink. Definitely a summer drink. This is really, really, I feel like really easy to drink, almost like a white tea. Kind of like just those easy, light flavor, slightly fragrance, almost like a Phoenix oolong, but without any roast. Very refreshing. First brew, aftertaste is a bit weak, but it has still like a refreshing sensation at the back end of your tongue, which is pretty good, pretty easy to drink. I think this is like a premium daily tea, I will say. Like it's a little bit too expensive for a daily drinker, but the feeling, I feel like it's something that I can just drink all day. Definitely you want to smell the tea. It smells very, very good. It really smells like a spring. The closest thing to this, I feel like it's still Taiwanese high mountain oolong. Maybe that's like the closest thing, but maybe like even Taiwanese baozhong. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Not as pungy as baozhong. So it has a unique, slightly sharp of like orchid notes to it. Aftertaste is definitely exists, but it's not very strong, just like really subtle. Just gonna check real quick to make sure that I am actually live on YouTube. I think I am, but ooh, the aftertaste on the second brew is actually much better now. Today is, yep, so we are live. That's good. So every month now, end of the month, I try to kind of like try to drink all the tea for the tea clubs. The tea club is very limited seating. I don't really want to grow my tea club member too many because it's a lot of work for me. Every month I'm like having a hard time trying to pick which one of my best 4 tea I can surprise my members. It's really difficult because I'm doing it every month. Some tea club out there, I think they do it like every 3 months. And I'm trying to find something that I'm really proud of, you know. I don't want to just get rid of like my bad stuff. Maybe once a while, if I have like leftover tea that I'm not super proud of, I might include in one of the 4. But I definitely always include some of the best one in that combination. Like this one, this month, all 4 are something I'm super proud of. And also, you also get a tea pads this month. And some of you, and also I think I include like some little snacks from Japan. So that's really fun. I tried to do that on December as a Christmas gift. So people that got it must be really happy. I already got some feedbacks of the tea pads. Everybody loved that. This one is a baby crocodile. I should show you guys. I'll show you later. The third brew, same thing. I'm gonna see whether or not this tea get bitter. So same thing, I'm using boiling water. I don't know if you can see the amount of the steam. And I don't know if you can see how much tea leaf there is in this guy one. There's like literally any room for the liquid. I don't know, hopefully you can see it. But it's like really a lot. And I'm not worried about the tea is gonna get bitter. That's how you know it's a good quality tea. A lot of teak wine out there, it get bitter if I just like let it sit like that. All right, I'm gonna dump this, too bad, because I have a lot of tea I wanna go through. But some people that like a long aftertaste, they like to make it stronger. Very good, especially on the back end. I feel like by now, the aftertaste on the back end of your mouth, it feels stronger, it feels more refreshing. It's definitely more punchy. The flavor is actually, I feel like it get weaker, but the aftertaste gets stronger. Oh, refreshing feeling. Definitely a spring kind of tea though. Like for winter, usually I prefer something like darker in color. It makes a big difference in how much you're going to enjoy them. Right, without the liquid, that's what it looks like. Looks really good. I'm gonna pull out some of the leaf just to show you. This is probably a machine pick. Most teak wine are machine pick. If it's a hand pick, they can get really expensive, right? So Chinese tea are normally hand picked, but the teak wine are normally machine picked. Usually I like to rub the leaf, see if it's any oil comes out. This one has a decent amount of oil. It's not the most oil I'll feel. There's other oolong that definitely feel much oilier than this. But like I said, this is like a medium range quality. It's something that is like you'll drink daily. I'm just gonna do one more time because I wanna brew the next tea, which is 2007 Ta Hong Pao Oolong. That is very premium, very premium oolong. and it's like 8 since 2007, so that's like 17 years old. Very, very old. I'm gonna talk about that real quick. I'm gonna grab the tea real quick. All right, let's see. Next one is Ta Hong Pao. I'm gonna use about 5 grams of tea. I wanna make sure I follow the instruction I wrote, because honestly, every tea, there are many ways of brewing them. I don't always follow instruction. Every day I make the same tea. I will always change the way I make the tea. But to help our members, I put a guide, which I have to kind of sit down and try them myself. But I personally, when I'm making them, often I go a little bit more than what I wrote for the guide, just because I like my tea really strong. So I'm gonna put 5 grams of this tea. It smells very sweet for something that's been roasted and something that's been aged for like 17 years. It actually smells really strong. It's like a sweet, kind of like black currant, a little bit sweet and sour, but like really tiny bit of sourness. There's also that roast smell, almost like a coffee kind of like roast notes. Very plummy. This is one of my favorite tea farm that I visited in China when I was in Wuyi Mountain. This is what it looks like. Okay. Very sweet. We're going to rinse this real quick. The rinse, normally in China they don't drink them, but I learned that the rinse of a Wuyi oolong is always very sweet, so I like to at least give them a try. This is definitely one of my top 10 tea I found from this year's trip to China. Very sweet, very roasty, almost like the roastiness, almost like a hojicha, Japanese green tea. 5 grams, you have to brew this really quick. If you're sensitive with bitterness, this is probably not the tea for you. You need to focus on the aftertaste, because it does has a bitterness, not in an unpleasant way for me. It's almost like a coffee kind of bitterness. Gonna get rid of that. If you feel like it's a bit too bitter for some of you, you can use lower temperature. But I personally like that tiny bitterness because it's followed with like a nice sweetness, almost like a nice sweet plum to it. It's also very, very low caffeine and it's very relaxing. So my tongue feels like really oily and slippery right now. Only sweet always. By the way, you should come today, Antonio. After my sessions, definitely I'm free. Gotta meet up for the last time before you move. All right, goes in, goes out. Beautiful color. There you go. Look at that. Grand. Hopefully you like the tea club from this month. I'm gonna show everybody what is everybody getting this month. first thing first. Very good. Definitely not for everybody though. The reason why I know this one is good, even though it's bitter, when you drink it and when you put it over here, it's very smooth. And that's why I know. This is the tea pad for this month. I don't always give tea pads, but you know, this usually December I try to give one tea pad. It's like a baby crocodile just sitting down. I think it's super cute. Hope you guys liked it. Oh, you already headed to LA. That sucks. So that is the tea pads. I'm still getting a mixed feedback about this kind of tahong pao though. Some people just do not care about the bitterness as much as I do. But people that love it, they really love it. It's hard to say. But if there's time to enjoy this, it's definitely during winter time. Almost every coffee lovers love this kind of tea, right? Coffee lovers that drink their coffee straight, they love this kind of tea. Just very thick. Beautiful color. Very drunky too. This is one of the tea that you drink and then just relax. Good for meditation, good for you to like just sip all day. It's not something you want to drink too fast like the way I do right now. It's something you just kind of slow down and just drink it slowly. Definitely something you sip. Really amazing. All right. The next tea we have is a black tea. The black tea is amazing. It reminds me of like tapioca balls. But I'm gonna try this a couple more times. I wanna see how many times can I get this flavor out. Goes in, goes out. Interesting. If you drink too much of this at once, I feel like the bitterness kind of goes up. I still think the aftertaste is very sweet though, even though it's not for everybody. It's really nice. Like even like when it's this warm sensation. What lingers in your palate is really sweet. It's still oily, it's not dry. For something that is like roasted heavily with charcoal and something that is aged since 2007, it's not dry at all. And get better. Get better the more you brew this. So this is why I don't wanna like get rid of it right away. It is a new tahong pao. Very, very different with the tahong pao that we have before. Tahong pao we have before is, I will say there's more layers to this. This is because it's been aged. I feel like it's sweeter and the roast is not very apparent. So the roast is a little bit lighter. Like you don't feel like it's roasted. The color is like getting more and more bright as I brew this more and more. So the story with this farmer is back in 2007 and 2009, she took a lot of money because it was a good year to invest in tea. So she hired as many people as possible and produce so much of it for her to invest into the tea and to store them for the future. And since then, every year they still make them, but they don't make a lot. They just try to basically have a new one and an old one. So this has been part of the plans since 2007 and 2009. I think they have 3 years, 2007, 2009, and 2011. And during those 6 years period, she has a stock that's like kilos of kilos, and she didn't want to sell it until like later on. And her husband passed away, so I think like 4 or 5 years ago. So now she just wants to start selling them again to pay back some of the loan that she took, basically to get a lot of this tea, you know. So it's very special for her because once it's gone forever. Because her son doesn't really want to do the aged oolong. Her son wants to basically make the oolong and sell it every year. So the flavor is very unique because most places, most farms, they don't usually have a lot of aged oolong. So that's what kind of like attract me. She has a bunch of like aged oolong, and especially 2007, 2009, and 11, and some from 1998. You know, so she see the value of it. So the way she make them is different with somebody that just aged them because they couldn't sell it. Because she already knew that she was gonna age this for like at least 10 years. So she has to roast them slightly different method, she said. The way she roasts them is like light roast, but like over many, many times over like multiple years. So to maintain that the flavor are still sealed in the leaf. That's why a lot of aged oolong, they taste kind of like weak, but not this one. Taste is very strong. The flavor changed very, very wonderfully. Very, very unique. Not for everybody. For people that is used to with the standard regular wheat oolong, it's definitely not the same. But if you want to like a truly good aged oolong, this is definitely a good one. So it's like a combination of like an oolong and a hei cha. Almost like a pu'er is a little bit. Oh, now it's like amazing. Oh, it has like a white tea taste now. Oh, this is like a fourth brew, I think. I think it's like, it just get better and better. Just like a lot of pu'er. It just get better and better. So definitely do not only brew this 1 or 2 times. I want you to like keep brewing it. That's when the flavor really, really comes out later on. It definitely has like those silver needle kind of like sweetness now, which wasn't there before. So really enjoying this now. I remember when I first sit down, I wasn't very impressed on the first infusion. But as we like having conversation for like 20, 30 minutes, which is like a lot of pu'ers like that too. The more you drink it, the more it's like delicious. A lot of my new pu'er delicious immediately on the first infusion. But by the 4th, 5th infusion, even better. You know, this is something like that. It just tastes sweeter and sweeter. Color is a bit light now. What are you looking for?
The Iron Goddess.
Iron Goddess? The dark roast? Shouldn't be here.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna move on to the black tea, which is a very affordable black tea. Remember tasting like a brown sugar, almost like a tapioca ball, almost like those boba without the milk tea. Very unique. It's this Ying De Hong Cha. Tang Pao just get better. Love it. All right, this one I also use 5 grams. This Saturday, I'm planning to do a local event at the shop. So if you're local, definitely If interested, I usually do it end of the year, but the timing wasn't right this year. So I want to do it this coming Saturday instead. I'm gonna have a tea event where everybody get to try all the best tea discovery that I got for 2024. That will be super exciting, including some $200 tea from Phoenix Mountain, $100 silver needle white tea, over $150 wee oolong. They're like really premium. Not something that I will sell normally. It's just something that I kind of collect and try to appreciate whether or not you can appreciate or not. But it's very pricey. It's not something that people will just drink it daily. It's not something you can find a lot of this. So I'm gonna have an event only this Saturday, once a year. Only 8 people, with a small place. So just looking for people that's really into super premium tea. But I'm gonna release the detail hopefully today. Now it's becoming like a white tea, white tea and like a wee oolong. Very good now, like very nice, very gentle, very soft. The liquid just really thick, almost like a honey kind of like thickness. I feel like it's a waste for me to throw this away. Definitely do not only brew that 3 times. Gonna keep going. The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Probably you can do 12 times. Just get better. All right, this one is pretty easy black tea. This one is a $9 tea, same price with our Golden Monkey, brand new. I'm gonna see if people are gonna like it. Wow, the smell. What is this smell? That doesn't smell like tapioca. It tastes like tapioca, but the smell. What is this? It's like salted caramel cookie. It's almost like a rice paper. It's almost like a salted rice paper, almost like taffy. It's like a saltwater taffy, maybe. Very interesting. Wow, this is gonna be very popular. Black tea is always popular in my website. They always one of the most familiar category for a lot of people. I normally don't rinse my black tea, but I'm just gonna try drinking it real quick. In China, they always tell me to rinse everything, to just open up the flavor. Oh, the rinse is so delicious though. It's kind of like a crime to throw away the rinse. Oh, so light and sweet. This might be even better than my Phoenix black tea. Oh, very good. Just real quick, I got a bucket here on the bottom. It's yummy. Very winter, very holiday feel. This is gonna be one of the most popular tea on my website. Just because the price, quality, I can almost guarantee it. This is going to be very popular. This is like an $8 an ounce tea. It's impossible to find this kind of quality at that price point. Recently, I haven't really tried to find a lower price point tea. So it seems like a lot of my new teas, like, it's all super premium. So I'm very happy to be able to find something like this. Let's see if I get the tapioca sweetness from this. Morning, Tyler. How is everybody? New Year Eve, by the way. Is everybody working on New Year Eve normally? How beautiful this thing is. This is an $8 black tea. It's so good. All right, very gentle. The smoothness is like a 7 out of 10. There's definitely a bit dryness to it, but for a black tea, I don't expect, especially at this price point, I don't expect them super buttery. So this is like a 7 out of 10 butteriness, no bitterness, very little tannin, if there is any. Aftertaste, it's definitely exists, but I feel like people that like this kind of tea are normally looking more on the flavor. The flavor is amazing. I don't normally think about aftertaste when it comes to black tea. There's very little black tea that I have, even like the premium one that I can think of, that have amazing flavor in the aftertaste. So I don't put that into consideration when it comes to like black tea. For oolong, yeah. For white tea, for pu'er, absolutely, but not for black tea. But remember, most people are drinking tea are mainly still on like flavor. For just based on flavor, this is amazing. Well, hopefully you're drinking tea as well, Tyler. Oh, very good. This is Yingde black tea. Yingde is, I think, it's near Guizhou, Guiyang, which is famous for their green tea. I could be wrong though. I didn't discover this black tea when I was there. Like the farmer that I worked with sent me a sample of it, and I really like it. So, but I think this is in Guizhou. If somebody can Google that. To confirm where is it. Yingde, Y-I-N-G-D-E. I actually never heard about this black tea until this year, so I don't know how popular they are. They just show you how much I still don't know. There's so many Chinese tea. When I was there, I was looking at this book of Chinese teas, and I was shocked that I only know like about 20% of the tea there. So it seems like we always drink the tea that is already popular, you know? And for me, I want to try the non-popular tea, you know? Regardless if I'm gonna like it or not, I just want to try them. Kind of like expand your knowledge, you know? But people only buy the tea that they know, people that they heard from the media. So it kind of sucks. All right, this black tea is pretty simple. I can feel the caffeine. The caffeine is definitely pretty good. I use boiling water. Let's see if it gets bitter. I'm just gonna let it sit a little bit longer. And the last tea in my list is a matcha. So I'm gonna get the matcha. This is a hand-picked matcha from Uji. Oh, this is Goko. Let's see. Oh, I have a lot of Goko here. I put my matcha in a wine cooler and a cigar cooler. Let's see. Aha, Saki Midori. So everybody get about 10 grams of this. So if you calculate the value that you get from my tea club, it's ridiculous. Because 10 grams of this is about $25. The Ta Hong Pao, that value, 10 gram, is about $15. That's two is already $40. It's free shipping. The teapot value about $15 to $20. So that's already at $65. And then the extra two teas, which is the black tea, value about $4. You know, $70 plus the tequine is also valued about $5 each. So really good value. So you get like about $80 value in a $50 tea club subscription. All right, this black tea. Let's see if it gets bitter. Ooh, this is really dark. Maybe it will get bitter. Look how dark it is, guys. That is, if it doesn't get bitter, I will be very impressed. Now, keep in mind, this is a cheap, everyday black tea, but that looks scary. Beautiful, bright red though. This is the test, how good the quality of this tea is. It's bitter, but it's not unbearable. It's definitely, I mean, it's a bit dry. It reminds me of Indian black tea when you like overbrew them for like even a little bit. So I feel like if I just like dilute it with just water, it's still drinkable. This is not how you're supposed to do it. But I look at the color. Let's see. It's definitely bitter though. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, right? So let's see if I can fix it just by adding water. Yeah, it's fixed. It's really good. The fact that I can just fix it that way, because a lot of times you can't do that. No, it's really good. Color's beautiful. I think this is gonna be popular for a restaurant, I think, because you can then just make a concentrate version of it and then just put hot water, you know. It's not as sweet anymore though. Yeah, it's definitely drinkable. Make a good iced tea. It tastes becoming like a cheap tea now when you make it strong, but it's still bearable. That still show the quality. It's not something I will do. I will definitely not overbrew that one. But other than that, tastes like a sweet tapioca bowl with a brown sugar. Really good. All right, we're gonna do Sake Midori Matcha. This will be the last tea for the tea club. All right. I'm gonna put about half gram. That's all you need. But 1 scoop is all you need. Half gram, if you like it stronger, 1 gram. So this is 10 grams inside. So 1 pouch of this, you can make easily 10 to 20 drinks. I tested with half gram. It was amazing. So this is about not even half gram. I'm gonna do 1 more scoop. I feel like that's combined with this. Yeah, not even 1 more. All right, that's half gram. Right? I don't know if you can see that. Sake Midori is the name of the cultivar. This is from Uji, 100% hand-picked and 100% organic. A lot of matcha out there are not single cultivar. So it's single cultivar teaches you about the origin of the flavor, which I prefer that way, right? Sometimes, even if I know single cultivar might not taste as good as the blend, but at least it teaches me something about the origin of the flavor, like the single origin of this, right? So for those that's not familiar, single cultivar, just like wine, there's a lot of different varietal. And for matcha, they also have a lot of varietal, but unfortunately, most people only had a chance to try the mixed, blended different cultivars. And there's nothing wrong with it, but if you really, really wanna learn about what is matcha, you should definitely only focus on single cultivar. The blended one is more available. Farmers actually do not like the idea that everybody getting single cultivar because it's very difficult trying to supply everybody. So even though I told you you should try it, but at the same time, it's not good to become popular. It's not good if everybody only drinking single cultivar. So it's a challenge, right? I want people to learn about it, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a trend because they're already struggling enough with just supplying matcha to everybody. And now, if everybody suddenly wants only single cultivar, it's just not enough for everyone, you know. So in a way, it's like I want people to know, but at the same time, I want to keep it secret. So it doesn't make sense, I know. But I found out when I was there, you know, it's not good for me to keep promoting the highest quality, because as people get better with their knowledge of like good quality matcha, it scares the farmers that they wouldn't be able to create that demand. It's interesting, right? It's a problem that I don't know how to fix that. So it's like the more people like bad matcha, the better it is for the economy of the matcha industry. So it's a challenge. Do I want to promote that good matcha? But should I put like a cap on like how good a matcha is? Never really thought about it until one of the farmers told me that. It was interesting, right? I think it's a really interesting concept. China doesn't have that problem though. Because China is big, they have a lot of supply. You know, there's matcha that I've been trying to get and it's been out of stock, and the demand is just like skyrocket this year. And I work with small farm. So most of my farm they don't really work with independent person like me. They just supply their raw material to the big company. So for some reason, they still can't help me because I'm not getting like 100 kilo, 200 kilo. I'm only getting like 10 kilo. But who knows what the future is gonna be. We'll see, right? This is why I visit the country, right? When you visit the country, you talk to them, you know what's going on in the industry. You get the inside, you know, the inside information that doesn't go out. And that is really interesting. Very interesting. It's something that people kind of like surprised when I told them about this story, the fact that they don't want the good tea become popular. I mean, they can always raise the price, but then even that, you know, then if nobody buy them, it's not good either. So I don't know. Is the way to solve this problem just by increasing the price? Is that gonna fix the problem? I'm not sure. But then if that's the case, then nobody ever can afford any matcha anymore. Because matcha is not cheap to begin with. And there are places in Europe that will sell not a very good quality matcha. They're okay for like 5 times the price of like what I would charge. And they're selling it very well. So there's definitely people are willing to pay lots of money. Right. So I wonder if there is going to be an explosion in price when it comes to matcha. Don't be surprised if suddenly a matcha tin in the future will cost you $100, you know. That could happen if everybody kept wanting the highest quality stuff. $100 can, $200 can, and the quality not that good. Only the richest can afford it. That's not good either, right? So, well, enjoy it while it lasts, because I don't think it's gonna last forever. I think the Chinese probably is gonna start improving the quality of their matcha. There are more and more companies are selling Chinese matcha now. I personally haven't had the interest because I just don't feel like, I feel like they're still like way behind when it comes to the matcha quality, but never underestimate China. If they know there's money involved, they'll definitely try to make the best one. So I won't be surprised if I start seeing high quality matcha from China in like 5 years. Right. All right, this is Sake Midori. Very beautiful green. The matcha was super low. Wow, yeah, I don't know. The still farms are still not doing good job though. I believe they lost about 20 to 30% farms since early 2000, you know. So the farmer are also the higher quality farmer. Right now, everybody just wants matcha, But Japan has way more than just matcha. They have a lot of sencha. People need to stop only buying matcha. 80% of my customer, when they say they like Japanese tea, is usually means matcha. The 20% is usually means, if it's the first time customer, usually that means they love hojicha or genmaicha. Like very small percent that's coming here looking for, I just want a really good sencha. Very rare. Either they're like already my customers or they don't even know what is sencha, which is sad because there's a lot of farmers in Japan are doing sencha, If you guys want to support Japan, definitely stop buying only matcha. You need to start drinking more sencha. Otherwise, all of these places are gonna go out of business. Oh, very oceany. Very good. I don't recommend you to make it this strong. For most people, you probably need to make it stronger. I'm gonna put it back. Very, very bright green, very, very oceany. It's not even like a seaweed. It's more like ocean. It's like ocean water. Ha. Kamaricha. Thank you. So the kamaricha, for example, right? Last year I went to Japan, tried kamaricha for the first time, wasn't very happy with it, and people are like telling me, "Oh my God, that was so good, that was so good," and I was like, "It's not good enough." But this year I tried again. I went to more places and I found more places that do kamaricha, but there's not that many. Every time I go, I just ask a simple question, do you have kamaricha? And they're like, oh, you know a lot about Japanese tea. It's kind of funny. Or like, I'm only asking like simple question. Immediately they think I know a lot about Japanese tea. That's how bad most people are when it comes to Japanese tea. And tamaryokucha is another one, right? Most people never even heard of it. But I don't care. I want to support the company. I want to support the country. As long as it's good tea, I don't care if they're not well known. I feel like everybody should have that kind of attitude. Who cares if the brand is not well known? Who cares if the label is not come from Uji? All I care is it good tea or not. And if the farm produce good tea, I will promote them and try to make the particular tea famous, That's why I have our bangcha, and most people never even heard of it. But it has to be good quality. That's all I care. And more people, I feel, need to try more other tea. But the problem is, most sencha are just not a good quality one that is available out there. So people probably just give up. So hopefully people try finding, just like long time ago, how like if you could not find a good matcha. Hopefully with that mentality, people want to try more good sencha, because there's a lot of really good sencha out there. Why is there not much more of a market for sencha? In United States now, and sencha is like considered always daily drinking, so a lot of people drinking sencha at the restaurant. Over here, they only get the shittiest quality sencha, and the only time people think about sencha, which is kind of sad, is during the spring peak season. Like harvest season, everybody's like, oh my God, it's sencha. And everybody somehow separate sencha and sencha as if they are two different products. They're not different product, by the way. Sencha just means new harvest green tea, right? Or new harvest tea. But somehow everybody think they are two different things because a lot of like company promote them separately as if sencha is completely different. And that's kind of misleading. So as the harvest season go away, nobody really buys sencha anymore. And people are like, oh, it's not sencha, which is stupid. Because every tea during the new harvest obviously is more fresh, but it shouldn't be the only time people drinking sencha, It should be all year long. And then plus, it's just weird. I mean, part of the problem too, green tea just feels and tastes better during summertime. So as it goes to winter time, people prefer hojicha, which is a lower quality tea technically, and they are cheaper. they're not a good indication of like high quality Japanese tea. They're mostly like a summer peak tea. I tried to get like a high quality hojicha, but there's only so much quality you can get from a hojicha. So our hojicha is spring peak. I think we have like one or two like summer peak, and then we have like two or three, two spring peak, and then one winter peak. They're not online though because I don't have a lot, but they're very interesting. We have like total 5 different hojicha. But we have like 15 sencha. I mean, I call it sencha even for like my tamaryokucha or even my kamairicha because it's just people only know the word sencha. But on my website, kamairicha is sencha personally, even though they taste slightly different. But if you can't even sell sencha, how are people buying tamaryokucha? Hopefully people know they're all kind of similar in a way. Kamairicha is, and then another thing too about all of this tamaryokucha and this kamairicha, nobody really making the same style too. From one place to another place, tamaryokucha can taste very different. Kamairicha can taste very different, and it doesn't have that consistency. Even bancha tastes very different from one region to another region. It just confuses people, you know. That's not really good, isn't it? It just confuse people because at one place, bancha considered like low quality tea that nobody wants. But in Kyoto, some bancha is pretty premium. And you know, I don't have bancha because there's no bancha that I found that I really like yet. But doesn't mean I give up on it, you know. I just want to try more. Very easy to drink, this Saki Midori, by the way. Not a very popular cultivar. It was a new cultivar for this farm, but like I say, as long as it tastes good, I don't care if it's not popular. I feel like everybody should always give a new cultivar a try, a new trend, you know, so that not everybody only buying the popular cultivar. Popular cultivar for matcha is now, as far as I know, it's like Goko. Those are a popular one. Or most of the time, they don't even name the name of the cultivar. Why is hojicha lower quality? Because hojicha is usually using summer peak tea. Like a sencha is usually spring peak, and sencha use summer peak as well. So a lot of hojicha is like a later harvest. That's what I mean by lower quality. They're not necessarily taste worse. They're just using a summer peak tea, and summer has a lot of bugs. It's too hot. The weather is it's not that great for tea. There's not enough time for the leaf to rest between spring to summer. But that's why I tried to find a spring peak hojicha, and they're very difficult to find. You know, you have to kind of special request them. What is the difference between the two? Tamaryokucha and kamairicha. Tamaryokucha, kamairicha. Kamairicha is pan fry. Tamaryokucha is they don't go through that machine that makes the leaf looks like a needle. Like sencha. Sencha usually looks like a needle, especially if it's like a light steam. Tamaryokucha don't go through that process. So the leaf more like curly, almost like Chinese green tea. But if you look at like a sencha that is like deep steam, sometimes you can't tell the difference. They look kind of similar. And tamaryokucha is supposed to be less grassy. You know, when they don't like go through that process, rolling the leaf, it's supposed to make it less grassy and supposed to be sweeter. But personally, trying them out, tamaryokucha feels definitely less bitter, astringent anyway. It's easier to drink, but I feel like even for somebody like me that tried in a lot, I feel like I haven't tried enough tamaryokucha to be able to distinguish the clear difference between flavor between tamaryokucha and sencha. But so far, as far as like my limited experience, because I only started drinking tamaryokucha from last year. I've been drinking sencha for like 10 years. That's how much people don't know about tamaryokucha. Because even somebody like me, I'm still kind of like experimenting. As far as I feel, definitely less grassy. It's a bit sweeter, where sencha is more umami. Sencha is definitely more salty, you know. So for most American, I think tamaryokucha will be better option than sencha because some Americans are not used to with that sencha umami notes. Are they both pan fried? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because tamaryokucha is the bigger category. Kamaricha is the subcategory of tamaryokucha. So technically, tamaryokucha could mean different thing. Yeah, kamaricha is underneath tamaryokucha. So that's why a lot of time kamaricha, you see the leaf are still kind of like curly. You know, so they're not necessarily, tamaryokucha are not necessarily pan fried. There are tamaryokucha that is like steam as well. Well, hopefully I answered the question. That's all good question, guys. Thank you. Hi, Cody. Finally, you joined. We're finishing the video. I hope I don't miss any question from YouTube. Probably not. But definitely thank you again for joining us. I'm gonna take a break now and try to start working on the event for this Saturday. Other than that, any other question, guys? If no questions, I'm gonna log off. Is tamaryokucha also sencha? No, you missed that part, Cody. Sencha looks like needle, tamaryokucha looks like curly, right? Rewatch the video. I talk about it for like 5 minutes. All right, guys. Bye. See you again until the next video. Happy New Year. If I don't see, well, I probably don't see you today, but Happy New Year. She was still asleep. See you Thursday, or if you're coming here, or Saturday if you're coming to my event. Thank you again for all the great questions. I love it. Have a good one. Bye.